99% of my record collection at home, which is not as big as this one, is absolutely sad music, melancholic music, and music made by magic musicians talk to me much more than electronic music.
Same old Bobby, same old beat.
Here's a nice Boris Vian box, by the way.
Boris Vian? Really?
Yeah.
Great, l'intégrale.
The same old cars, same old streets. But yeah, they got nothing on me.
So let's start with something from the 50s. I mean, let's start with my hero, Chet Baker.
We just keep going. You're easy, so easy.
Talked about.
Which one you choose?
You know, this record, Chet Baker Sings, from 1953, includes so many songs we've heard so many times, and we possibly know them by heart, but we still need to listen to them again. We can't listen to them enough. And let's do, well...
Hard to choose.
Well, you know, all of them are masterpieces, but...
You have a very sweet way of touching the record.
My favorite song is The Thrill Is Gone, but one song that had a really big impact on me when I was a kid is There Will Never Be Another You, with a legendary trumpet intro. I think we go for that one with a bit of tempo. Let's see just where we were.
La chair de poule in French.
First time I heard that song, I was sure it was a black woman singing.
Really? Like
Yeah.
Simone, for instance.
For instance, and then realized that it was a young, good-looking white boy. It was kind of a shock for me.
There will be many other nights like this, and I'll be standing here with someone.
When I saw Chet Baker live in my small hometown of 7,000 people living, that evening really changed my life. I was a young teenager and I thought that to be a performer and to be on stage you needed to be extrovert and loud and proud. But when I saw Chet, I realized that you could be quiet and you could... The first thing he did when he came on stage was to move the chair away from the light. So he was in the shadow all concert long, and he was so sensitive and shy, and I felt that, wow, I could do that too, you know? When I was a kid, most people in my age at school did the choice if they were going to be the hard rockers or to listen to the synth music. And these people were fighting in the schoolyard, you know. But I moved into a little more narrow path and became really obsessed by the Cocteau Twins. They had this really unique sound with all these heavy drum machines and these multi-layers of noisy guitars with this super beautiful voice on top. And after a bunch of records, they started to get criticized because people thought they sounded the same all the time, that all records sounded the same. So they decided to do a record called Victoria Land that was like, they took away all the significance of what people thought was the Cocteau Twins. And that became, to me, one of the most beautiful records ever recorded. It opens up with a song that is very, very long, and we're going to enter it in the middle. It's a track called Lazy Calm. Massive Attack decided to choose Liz Fraser to sing on Teardrop on their album Mezzanine in 1997. Then Robin and Simon from the Cocteau Twins decided to try a male voice, and they called me. Yeah, it was really, really crazy. I get my heroes on the phone calling me saying, "You want to come over to September Sounds in Twickenham and record with us?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." Then talking about Massive Attack, we have to also talk about another Bristol band that was really important to me, Portishead and Massive Attack became a key how I started to slow down the 12-inch hip-hop records I had into the wrong BPM, to slow it down and to sample some of my soundtracks and then to sing my jazzy songs on top of that. That was really how Whiskey was created back in 94, 95. And so we have to listen to Portishead. In the beginning, when I realized that my songwriting was very jazzy, and the obvious way would be to play and to record with a jazz quartet. But I felt that it was far too retro. I was so disappointed because I have always anyway been interested in something modern. I wanted it to be, to try to take new steps, new ways of doing things. So I had to sack my band and had to try to find a new way of doing it. And what was happening in England, and first and foremost in Bristol in the early 90s, became a huge key for me to find out how to arrange and produce my jazzier work. I am totally absorbed by Blue Note, mostly because of its graphic design on the record covers. I never thought I would have the possibility to be a musician. That would be to believe too much. So my education was within art, architecture and graphic design, and Blue Note, of course, was something that I studied hard as a kid.
You wanted to hide between your computer.
The first one I take out is the Golden Stockholm. Yeah, it's really funny. This is Humlegården. Every day when I went to art school, I had to bike through this park. Really, really funny.
I have a suggestion for you.
Delta Rhythm Boys, maybe? Is it? Yeah, like as a kid, growing up with hearing jazz music through the walls of my dad's room. I heard ABBA through the walls of my sister's room, older sister's room, and I heard glam rock through the wall of my brother's room, like Sweet. And like I said, I decided to choose another path. But I remember so well hearing the Delta Rhythm Boys' Dry Bones through the walls of my dad. And even though I didn't like it, I very quickly picked it up and learned it by heart. So that's a song that has been stuck in my bone marrow since a kid. And sometimes when I'm walking to the shopping mall, I kind of hum that little song for myself still. And during the recording of my last album, Cockroach, some of my musicians wants to take a little lunch break. And during that little break, when they leave to pick up something to eat, I get a little moment for myself in the studio. And one of these moments, I just pushed rec on play and did the 4 different vocal takes of Delta Rhythm Boys' Dry Bones. And when the guys came back and I said, check this out, and I just played it and they said, wow, that's amazing, you have to put that on the record. And I played it to the record label and they had the same reaction. And I thought, okay, let's make it a little passage in the middle of the album to make something else happen. is not the version I was thinking of.
Ezekiel cried them, dry bones, Ezekiel cried them, dry bones, Ezekiel cried them, dry bones, now hear the word of the Lord. Ezekiel connected them, dry bones, Ezekiel connected them, dry bones, Ezekiel connected them, dry bones, now hear the word of the Lord.
Oh, this is so beautiful. Wow.
Françoise Hardy.
Yeah. You know, when I came to France the first time, back in 1997, I had a concert at l'Européen, and she came backstage after the show. It was so nice. She still is so beautiful, and it was so fantastic to meet that woman. Not long time ago at all, I had the idea that I have to contact her for a duet. And I asked the record label people if they could get me in contact with her manager. And they said, yeah, we're going to help you with that. And after a while, I get the message from her manager saying, Françoise wants you to call her. Here's her mobile number. And I haven't dared to call yet, but one day I will.
Don't be so shy.
Living in the small city I'm from, we were not really exposed to a lot of French music. As far as I know, there was no Françoise Hardy records around in Sweden. This was one of the first records I bought of Françoise Hardy because I know that Nick Drake fans liked this one.
Je ne sais pas qui tu peux être, je ne sais pas qui tu espères.
I heard a very interesting story about Nick Drake. He used to live with his parents in the parents' house in, I don't know if it was Wales, well, in England at least, and he decided, I have to go to Françoise. So he took the car from England, drove through England down to Dover, took the boat over to Calais, and drove into Paris. And he was standing on the, is it called interphone, down on the street, pressing the doorbell. And Françoise answered like, hello? And Nick gets all frozen in that moment. You know, he just don't know what to say. So he gets back in the car, drives back to Calais, takes the boat over to Dover, and drives on the wrong side of the street all the way home. He's so, you know, in still a shock that he doesn't remember to move over to the left side traffic. And not far away after that, he commits suicide. So when I get the mobile number of Françoise, you know, I don't dare to call. Because if she's gonna say hello, I guess I'm gonna freeze totally and drive on the wrong side of the road for the rest of my life.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Like I
you
said,
so
we
much.
could stay here forever.
C'est courir après le vent. Je ne sais pas pourquoi je reste dans une mer où je me noie. Je ne sais pas